Hi, it's Gail Foley coming to you live from Briargate Pond today. Got a question for you. Are you too young to retire? That's a question that my husband's facing right now. He can do an early retirement and then contract back in. And so that's the question he has to decide upon. And when I look around at my friends and they ask me, is he going to retire? And I just really is retiring really what a lot of us want to do at this stage of the game? I don't know about you, but I'm in a place of absolutely explosive learning. I couldn't even imagine retiring. I have friends that have retired and they traveled the country for 2 years and then, they figured out they really needed some more money to keep doing that, so they went back to work. She works at Walmart. He works at Home Depot. Is that what you want to do? I don't want to do that. When I do decide to quit doing exciting and wonderful new things, new adventures, if I would decide to retire, my husband's idea of retiring is to getting one of those big, traveling homes. Get into that home and just travel. Well, you know what? That works for me. Because what I do from my computer. I can do it while he's on the road. I only do it a couple hours a day. So, whoa, that would be a picture-perfect scenario for me. So, when the subject comes up about retiring, what is it that you picture? Do you picture being on the beach? Do you picture traveling in one of those big vehicles? Do you picture going to be a greeter at Walmart? Or do you have bigger and better expectations for yourself? The reason I ask this is because I'm in a network marketing company and have been for 7 years. And one of the median age groups in network marketing is 55 and over. That to me is unbelievable because a lot of us think, oh, well, because of what we do, it's on the internet, we would go out and find the younger ones. And I've had that thought myself because I thought, wow, I get a young kid, 18, 20, just go out and hustle and talk to his friends. They already understand that they can do stuff from their mobile phone. They can do it from their iPad. They can do it from their notebook. They can do all these things. But you know what? I really can relate to people my age better because I understand where they've come from for the most part. We've worked a regular corporate job. I've had my career in the corporate world. I did not like the corporate world. I don't like having a boss. I was told once when I was a secretary for one of the last corporations I worked for that I walked a fine line because the boss would tell me to do something and I would do it, but I would also give him input on a better way to do it. So that was what I was told, but I had a blast. I really felt good about my performance in that field. Then I went on to do something else. I've had many, many different careers. Never any of them, 24 years in the secretarial world, however, not at the same place. I had different segments of that. But what I've discovered is that I have so many more adventures to do. I have so many more mountains to climb. And I think that's what happens when you get to an age where some people are looking at, wow, I can't wait to retire. Sometimes those are people, I think, like my husband, who have been in the same place for a long time. That's been their major goal. Let me get to here. But then there's people like myself that always know they're meant for something bigger and better. And that bigger and better can be, there's motivational speakers come out of that. There's business coaches. There's people that have had a hobby that they just can't wait to go out and make it a business. When I was in timeshare, I met this family, and they were just the nicest couple, and they had a couple kids. And he was so excited about his retirement. He had been a dentist for 19 years in the Coast Guard. He looks at me, he says, "Do you know how people feel about dentists?" I said, "Well, I know how I feel about dentists." He says, "Exactly. Nobody is excited about coming to see their dentist." He said, "I have hated being a dentist for 19 years, and when I reach 20 years, I am retiring." I said, "So why have you been a dentist?" He said, "Because that's what my parents wanted me to be, so that's what I became." I said, "Okay, you're a very young man. What are you going to do now?" He said, "What I've always wanted to do." And I said, "What is that?" He said, "I'm going to be a forest ranger." Wow. I may be talking to someone right now watching this video that's had the same experience. They followed the path their parent laid out for them. My brother was the same example. He was a mouth to contend with growing up. Very argumentative. He loved to win the arguments. A debate would go on for days. And we would just say, "Would you please stop? We're on a family vacation." And he was just Mr. Motormouth. And it was like, "Oh my gosh, will you shush up?" So my parents challenged him that, we were campers, that if he could be quiet, I think it was about an hour, till we got to camp, then he wouldn't have to do dishes that night. We were just, in hog heaven. He was quiet, and we're going along. 5 minutes from the camp, he spots a herd of deer, and he couldn't help himself. Well, because of this incessant chattering and argumentativeness, my parents planted the seed that my brother should be a lawyer. Mitch needed to be a lawyer. Mitch's hunger was to go out to sea. He wanted to be on the water. He wanted to sail to all parts of the world. And so, right out of high school, he joined the Navy. And the Navy promised him if he took this hardship duty, that he would be able to do whatever he wanted when his tour of duty was done. Well, his tour of duty was on Adak, Alaska, which is a great big huge rock that's adjacent to Russia. We were in the Cold War. And so he goes out on this rock. There's no entertainment. There's no nothing. His only entertainment is taking pictures of eagles and rats. That was their entertainment. There was no USO coming to visit and throw parties or anything. It was a serious hardship duty for an entire year. When he got done, he asked to go on a ship. Oh no. No, the Navy decided they needed him in Pentagon at the computers as a top security person. My brother goes through all that, comes out, he's going to follow what his parents said to do in the first place. He's going to go to school as a lawyer. So he goes, he gets married, they go off, and tragically, his wife was killed in a car accident at a very young age. Mitch lost all heart, just had no desire to pursue that career because she was his anchor. But while he was going to law school, while he was going to law school, in order to support them, he volunteered, or he got a job with Manpower, which is sort of a temporary company, and he hooked up with a gentleman that ran a huge construction crew, and Mitch learned that he really loved designing and remodeling and inspecting homes, and so that was the direction he ended up going. He couldn't stand being in an office. So maybe if you're facing retirement, maybe you're looking on the horizon. What is it you really want to do? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to investigate maybe getting into internet marketing? Do you want to investigate getting into opening that store? Do you want to investigate laying on the beach all the time? There are so many options open to us. So when somebody asks you, are you ready to retire? I'm too young to retire. I think it depends on where you are in your heart. I've got a mother-in-law that she retired the day her husband died at 57. And she sort of played the rest of her life, and she's just turned 91. I family could not do that. My thing is I've got so much more to give. I got so much more to accomplish. There are so many adventures out there. And my husband feels the same way. He realized yesterday that the path he's on right now with his learning this new skill he's going through is where he needs to be. Everybody else is saying, hey, you need to look at early retirement. Hey, you need to learn to get your resume out there. Hey, you need to line up another job. Hey, you need to do this. Everybody's telling him what to do. Then he finally came to the conclusion that the place he's happiest right now is learning this new skill set. And you know, when the dust settles, that will have been the best thing he could have done, because he wants to continue working. He wants to continue using those skills. Why? Because that's what he enjoys. So I challenge you today to sit down and do what I used to do all the time when I was looking at doing this or doing that. I call it a Ben Franklin close. Sit down, and I do this with my grandkids, my daughters. I've always done this since I learned it in one of the many books I've read. Let's say you are undecided what direction you want to go, but there's something calling you and you just don't know. Try this. Sit down, draw a great big cross. On one side put pros, on the other side put cons. And then sit there and list all the different things that are a benefit if you go that direction, and all the things that are not so good if you go that direction. That's how I help my husband decide whether he should stay with his company till the end or if he should just move on. That helped him look at it in a whole new, different perspective. And it was a very wise decision. It bought him time. It bought him this class. So if you have some things you want to do, you're not ready to just bow out and sit down on the couch, you're not ready to be that greeter at Walmart. Let's say you've got big aspirations. You've been watching a friend of yours be extremely successful in a business, and they've invited you to join them in the business, and you sat on the sidelines and said, I don't know. Maybe now's the time to do that. Maybe the time now is just sit down and put out a blog. There are people all over the world doing blogs that are attracting tons of people into their lives. Just blog for the fun of it. Just blog to put out there that you're a grandmother and this is the fun you're having with grandparenting. I have a grandson with a metabolic disorder. I could actually just blog about the challenges that he faces. Or maybe I can share with him that he could blog about it. There are so many things that are out there to embrace, because our society right now, our 55 years and over, and the baby boomers, we got a lot more to give. And I don't see too many people saying, hey, I'm done, I'm down for the count, let's be done. I'm not encountering those people. So that's what I wanted to share today. I want to inspire you a little bit. If you're not ready to retire, what would you like to do? What would make your day? What would make you wake up and just vibrate with excitement? You just couldn't wait to get started. Is your job doing that for you? Would retirement do that? I know there are a lot of people that have retired and had an incredibly enriching life because they've gone out and volunteered. Or they just get to golf every day. But on the other side, they volunteer at charities, or they organize golf meets, or they just get involved with a lot of things they never could have the time to do. Lots of food for thought. I'm Gail Foley. I'm asking you today to pass on a smile. Pass on a smile to the right person. They might be your inspiration. Take care. Bye-bye.